bronze medal match here.
Volleyball Canada released the roster and it was finally public. To see it written felt so surreal.
And it's Lang who comes up with a swing off the block to get the first point for the Canadians.
And a part of me always goes back to thinking of the younger version of myself. It happened in that moment. It happened when we won in our bronze medal match.
And they've done it! Canada take bronze here in Paris!
My name is Allison Lang. I'm a disability advocate and para-athlete, and this is how I move.
The moment that I made the roster to go to the Paralympic Games felt really surreal. It's something that I didn't know that I wanted when I was a child, but as soon as I joined the sitting volleyball program, I kind of found my passion and a deeper meaning of trying to put adaptive sport on the map for other people. My athletic journey has not been linear. I was actually born missing the lower half of my left leg at birth and grew up playing soccer, swimming, snowboarding. I grew up in Edmonton, so I was super close to the Rockies, always wanted to be outside, and I was actually severely bullied for my disability as a child, and it really impacted my self-worth and the way that I saw my body, and it led me to developing an eating disorder and body dysmorphia and trying to control the way that my body looked in different ways because I couldn't control my disability. And sadly enough, I ended up quitting sports when I was around 13 years old. And I met this girl at annual seminars at the War Amps Champ program. She knew I was athletic, and sitting volleyball was a brand new sport. It was in its grassroots era in Canada. And they knew I had a disability, I was athletic in the past, and they invited me to come try sitting volleyball. And at first I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be perceived as different than my peers or my classmates. And my mom said to me, well, if you go try it and you hate it, you never have to go back. So I went and I tried it, and I absolutely sucked. Going from playing sports with your feet to something with your hands, I had no coordination, but it was the women that kept me.
It's kept alive, good skills from Brazil.
They had everything that I aspired to become.
Filomena into the block. Lang says no, not yet.
A lot of athletes that acquire a disability or live with a disability are nervous to try a new sport or an adaptive version of the sport because they don't want to be seen less than. And this is where that whole narrative comes in, where we're trying to change that language so it's more inclusive. Adaptive sport is not less than non-disabled sport. In fact, there's this whole Paralympic movement right now to bring up the equality between the Paralympics and Olympics. And I saw that huge transition being in the village and in venues in Paris at the 2024 Paralympic Games.
Canada came, saw, and conquered.
There were a lot of highlights. One of them being just how amazed I was at how accessible the village was transformed into. To show up in a space that was created for us was like no feeling I've ever had. There's so many times that I show up to venues and accessibility and accommodations for disabled people is always an afterthought, not the forethought. We often get asked, oh, do you want to be part of the Olympics? And I always say no. And it's because I'm not ashamed to be a Paralympic athlete. I'm so proud, and that word carries so much value for me. We've undergone different things in our life that maybe Olympians haven't. And just to acknowledge that holds so much respect for the word. One thing that is so cool that people don't realize, anybody can try adaptive sport. You don't have to be living with a disability. You do have to have a disability to play on the national level. But as soon as more and more people become knowledgeable and educated with what is out there, it only creates a more equitable and inclusive and accessible world. Because one fact I like to say, disability isn't if, it's when. We all become disabled at one point or another in our life, whether it's illness, accident, old age, it's inevitable, we all get older. And so to know that the option is out there for you and that your life in sport doesn't have to end if you do become disabled.
Let's show our appreciation.
I'll get emotional saying this, but to know that there's a possibility out there for so many young children to find their place in sport, to know that they belong, and to aspire to do amazing things. It felt like the glass ceiling was finally removed, and that, you know, I could move forward and showcase and share my journey, not only for myself and my community, but all of Canada.
This is an incredible moment for Team Canada.